Hello, it's Myles, and today I'm going to make a video about a bunch of books. These aren't all of them. My main book genre is horror. I really love horror books, also gothic books. And the first book that I ever read in that genre, the gothic genre, is What Moves the Dead by T.Kingfisher. And I continue to read the Sworn Soldier trilogy as it stands now, but I'm pretty sure this isn't the last book. I guess we'll see. But I decided to focus on What Stalks the Deep today by T.Kingfisher because it is my favorite book in the trilogy. I love the diversity of the characters in this book, along with the mystery that does happen in this book. Also, the setting itself, it is different from What Moves the Dead because it's like the house or where they're staying isn't really the part that is haunted or scary or infected or whatever. So I like that difference. Also, this is a really good hardback edition that I want to show off. But yeah, you get this cover along with these innards. So this is the third book in the trilogy where our main character, Alex Easton, is meeting up with their friend Denton again. They first met in the first book, What Moves the Dead, but they're meeting again because Denton's cousin, Oscar, has gone missing. And the last that Denton knows about his cousin is that he was visiting a coal mine in like Virginia. So they go on a trip to hopefully find him well and alive. I really like this book. I'm actually rereading it right now. I also want to point out her most recent book, Wolfworm. I love this book. I love this book more than the Sworn Soldier trilogy. But yeah, Wolfworm is about a scientific illustrator that is working for a doctor in South Carolina, and basically like what's in the woods, and oh, there's so much insect horror here. There's gore. The insect horror is completely and utterly gross. Like, I mean gross. Like, the amount of times I was reading this book and I was just like, and then I had to go back in. But yeah, I also have a bunch of tabs in here that I actually kind of need to redo, but I really love the horror in this book. I also love our main character, Sonia Wilson. She's the scientific illustrator, and her main technique for art is watercolor. And I'm not an artist, so I don't really do that, but it's so nice seeing I genuinely love T.Kingfisher's writing so much. The way that she in this book describes the main character, Sonia Wilson, looking at things and saying, oh, well, if I were to paint that, I would do this, or I would do this with a dab of color just to make it brighter or something. It's just so artistically beautiful, and I love the mentions of food as well in this book. She describes food so well in this book, it makes me hungry. Like, I'm like, oh, I gotta go eat something. But I also love the diversity in this book as well as What Stalks the Deep. You are introduced to an ensemble of characters. Well, I don't know if you call it an ensemble, but I'll say an ensemble. An ensemble of characters. I'd say two of them also live in the house with Sonia and the doctor she's working for, Dr. Halder. And then you're also introduced to another character that doesn't live there, but is also super important to the story and whatnot. I love this book so much, and I also love this edition actually, so I'm gonna show it off. So first you have the cover. Oops. Thankfully, I had an autographed copy available at my local indie bookstore, which is Underground Books in Carrollton. I don't live in Carrollton, but anyway, I'm so happy to have this book. It's so good. The next book that I want to point out is This Is My Body by Lindsay King Miller. This was, I want to say, the first horror book that I bought is This Is My Body by Lindsay King Miller. I really love this book. It was the first book that I started like tabbing because I really love our main character, Bridget, and how she is a mother to a middle grade student, child, daughter. And I usually don't, at least recently I found out that I don't really like little kids in books, and by little kids I mean like probably like under 10. But she has a middle grade daughter, and it's about family, and it's about religious trauma, generational trauma as well. I love all of the characters in this book so much. Bridget is genuinely troubled. She's not great. She's morally gray, definitely, and I love seeing her struggles and how that manifested in her life. And I also love her mother and her uncle and their dynamic between the dynamic between the two of them as well. I also love her daughter, her daughter Dylan. Dylan is pretty cool, honestly. A lot of this book is from Bridget's perspective, so we don't get the inner workings of Dylan's brain, but from what we do get from her character, she seems like a pretty cool kid. Pretty rad, if I could say so myself. Honestly, the stuff that she goes through in this book, nothing could be more hardcore than being Dylan in this book. But yeah, I genuinely love this book so much. It's what introduced me to the horror genre, and it was a good introduction for me. So I definitely recommend This Is My Body by Lindsay King Miller. Another book, or it's a book series that has really inspired my reading as an adult, is actually a young adult series called the Nempshawazet series. I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but this is To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Moniquill Blackgoose, and its sequel, To Ride a Rising Storm. This series follows an indigenous teenager / young woman. By her people's standards, she is a young woman, but she is like 15, 16 in the book, so she's also a teenager going to school. But so this series is the first young adult series that I've come across in my life, not the first ever, just for me personally, that I've seen where the main character is not white. So I obviously had to pick this up. I first read it at my local library, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book, to the point where obviously I had to pick up my own copy, and I had to pick up the sequel, which I'm not done with yet. I'll get to that. But this book takes place in a more steampunk era of our world. It's definitely based on the steampunk era of our world, and also it is definitely what is it? It is fantasy. So this is like the world, and it's like the regular world, just with different names, in all honesty, which I'm cool with, whatever. But yeah, you even get a pronunciation guide in this book as well, because just for people like me who are indigenous, so I don't really know how to pronounce all of the things that are said, but I'm glad that things are said anyway, because I mean, what is the point of reading if not to learn and grow? But I really thoroughly enjoy this series. You follow this young girl who is 15, 16 that witnesses the birth of a dragon, and she gets her own dragon. That dragon becomes her own, and you follow her through her adventures into Angle's Land, which is basically America, I'd say, or Britain, or whatever. Basically, whatever colonizer country you want to compare it to. And you follow her there, and she obviously deals with backlash of like, how are these indigenous people going to have dragons? They can't have those. And basically, I love how rich the story is, and also the culture of the people in the story as well. And we continue, and she meets so many people. Oh my god, I forgot, I'm so sorry. She meets so many people at this school for like Dragoneers and whatever, and I love all of them so much. Genuinely, they all add so much to the story, which is again why I had to pick up the next book. I have been thoroughly enjoying this book. The only reason why I've stopped where I stopped is because I was reading the first book while I was in school, and I really enjoyed reading about another student going to school while I was in school, because I don't know, it just made me feel a little better about being in school and doing school stuff. So I decided to put off the rest of this book until I start school again for the fall semester. So I definitely recommend this series so far, and even if you just want to read the first book, I highly, highly, highly recommend this first book. I haven't finished the second book yet, so I can't really say anything much, but I am thoroughly enjoying it, and it is great from the first book, and I'm looking forward to the third book. Excuse me. On to my next stack of books. This stack is primarily and only by Black authors? Pretty sure. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, I also have the These are all the Black horror and thriller books that I'd like to feature in today's video. And it's Ring Shout by P.Djélì Clark. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. I'm very sorry. But this is like, I've seen people say that this is not fully horror. Like, what I would call this book, I would say it's a mix of fantasy and horror into one book. And I think it is so very, 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 very well done. I would read this book. If this book had a sequel, I would hands down read it. Hands down. I love this book. I love the fantastical elements. I love having like a fantasy type of book that centers on Black people in America and racism and the Ku Klux and the KKK and stuff like that, and how it was really horrific, and having a book of people fighting back is just so nice to have in the first place. But in this book, you follow 3 Black women who are fighting the KKK, who have been overrun by demons. Yes. So I highly recommend this book. There is a good amount of gore in this book as well, like to the point where, but oh my god, sorry. One of my favorite things about this book has to be the characters. I love the characters so much. They are all so lovely. I mean, off of the first chapter, they have you loving all 3 of your main characters, and I just think that is so beautiful and well done, and I love this book so much. It's also pretty short, so you should just go ahead and get this book. The next book I have is a thriller named Jackal by Aaron E. Adams. I also thoroughly enjoyed this book, obviously because it's in this video. But what I liked about this book is that it's modern. It's definitely taking place in modern times, and how these little Black girls will go missing, and our main character Liz is not necessarily the only one to put it together, but she's the only one who puts it together and is in a position to get something done about it. So we follow her in her hopes to uncover and figure out what happened to these girls and if she can get them back. Liz goes back to her hometown for her best friend's wedding, and it's supposed to be a quick little like celebration, like we celebrate on the weekend, and then I go back to my new home because I don't like it here. She has good reason not to like it here. And just, this book was so like gripping and sad for me, but also so very good. I really like this book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it also tackles I'm pretty sure she's a first generation Haitian immigrant as well. So her mother is Haitian, and how, and also it tackles like the relationships between Black people in a predominantly white town, and how things can get complicated, and what happens when you are selfishly, like when you are kind of selfish, and why people are selfish like that in these towns sometimes. And I just think it was such a beautiful introspection, and also I think it was such a beautiful introspection into Black people in these towns as well. And also, even me, I could relate to it. I don't live in a predominantly white space, but I also understand being in one and having to be the Black person. So I think one of the topics that this book does really well is tackling the token Black friend, or the token Black person, and basically what that feels like and what it's like, and how it affects other Black people as well. Very well done. Just very well done. The next book I have to showcase is On Sundays She Picked Flowers. I would define this book as gothic while also being horror. There is definitely gore in this book. It's honestly pretty sad, but also so beautiful. So we followed Judith, who's living with her mother in 1965. And in 1965, I believe she's 41 years old, and she's still living with her mom. So she's kind of like in that space where she is a woman because she is 41 years old and she is older. She can do stuff, she can drive, she can get a job, she can do all these things, but she's still living with her mother. So it's like, well, I might be a woman, but I'm still a daughter. And if I'm a daughter, then I'm a child. That kind of the woman-child struggle, I would say. And we follow her through her life afterwards as well. Something happens. Let me see if the synopsis says this. Okay. It does not say it, so I will not say it. But she does flee. She does run away from her mother's house, and we follow her throughout her journey of finding out who she is, without her mother, who she is without her family, who she is, period. And I love how we take this trip with her. There are I don't know if I want to say it though. Like, one of the things that I like about this book is that it is queer. That as much as I will say, because I don't want to spoil anything, and I really liked this aspect of the book. So yes, I like this book. This book was both beautiful and heartbreaking. Oh, it's so beautiful and heartbreaking. I love how it was written as well. Oh, sorry. This is On Sunday She Picked Flowers by Scholfield. I love the way that this book was written by them, because it just made you want to keep reading. It makes you want to keep reading. Like, I remember I was reading part 2 of the book, and then I got to part 3, and I was like, oh, I forgot, like, this book had parts in it. I literally forgot that. But literally such a great book. I would totally recommend this book. It's just a little over 200 pages, and so it could be a quick read for you. You should read it. You should read it. And the next 2 books are also Black horror, but these are ones that I either haven't finished or I am looking towards reading. So first we have We Are Here to Hurt Each Other by Paula D. Ashe. This is a collection of short stories, and they're all centered around, being on Earth to hurt each other. So that's like the reason we're here, basically. I don't know why you would think we're here for anything else other than to hurt each other. Anyway, I started reading this as an ebook from my library, but the prose was just really good. And also, like, and by good, I don't mean like easy to understand. I mean like professional grade type. Oh, this might be above my reading level. Oops. So I have greatly benefited from having a physical copy so I can make notes and tab and just all the things, because what I feel like is something I've enjoyed about this book is that all of these short stories, I feel like some of them do connect. And basically I've just been having a good time of like note taking in the book. For instance, I have this sticky note here just full of notes on this one short story, and it really has increased my understanding of the book, and I very much like it. I really like this book. I think the prose is really good for one, and I look forward to finishing it and having a holistic view of the book. Next, I have Blackwood's by Brandon Massey. I swear that people swear by this author. But people do swear by Brandon Massey and his ability to just give you a beautiful, well-written Black horror book. So I decided to pick up Backwoods because it is about a couple who goes to the man's uncle's house to basically tell him like, hey, you should sell your property. Like, you could get so much money for selling your property. You should sell it. And then the uncle's like, no, I can't sell it. So the couple basically uncovers different secrets and all these other things that the family has been hiding on this land for generations. So my phone ran out of storage. I think I already went through the summary. So yeah, I look forward to reading this book. I have yet to start it because the game I really want comes out tomorrow. So I might start reading this tonight or sometime later, but I am really looking forward to this book. That is all I have featured for Black horror in this video, but I'd also like to point out 2 more books that I also have. And the 2 books that I want to feature in this video are The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monika Kim and Molka by Monika Kim. The first book I picked up was Molka, and let me tell you, I love this book. This book is really, 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 really cool. The amount of times, I think I read this book in the span of 24 hours over 2 days, and I have reread this book multiple times. I've gone back through it multiple times. Like, I mean, I've worn this book out, and I got it this year. So, and it came out this year. So, yeah, I really love this book. It is a thriller. I'm gonna say it's a thriller, a horror thriller book. And it talks about Molka, which is the Korean slang word for hidden camera. So it delves into hidden cameras. It also is about love in a way. Well, yes, not in a way, but definitely, yes. It talks about love, infatuation, obsession a little bit, and also security around like what we post online. It has a little commentary about that as well in this book. So I really enjoy this book, and yeah, I really highly recommend it for others as well. The second book I picked up was The Eyes Are the Best Part. I've heard of this book before Molka, but I just so happened to see Molka first, so I picked it up. And this book is also a horror thriller, but we only follow one character in this book, while in Molka we follow 2. And this book is really good. I'm glad I got to get the like paperback deluxe version. This might be a deluxe version. I don't know if that's what they call it, but whatever. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It says a lot about race in America, especially when it comes to being Korean and being Asian in America and how that feels. It's also about family dynamics, as well as the need for I want to say like acceptance by men, along with what it says about friendship and and I just really like this book. There are a lot of other points that I've been going back through this book to see what the book says about, for one, friendship, and I definitely recommend this book to other people as well. I'm sorry if the end of this video felt like I lost a lot of energy, because I did lose a lot of energy, but these are all still really great books that I would recommend. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later, or not.